Welcome to another episode of Transform Yourself, the podcast that's all about empowering you to shed those stubborn pounds and embrace your best selves. We are your hosts, Kacy and Tyler, and we use the 4 M's of fitness, mind shift, meal shift, micro habits, and muscle building to create attainable and sustainable approach to weight loss. We have lost a collective 130 pounds. We've kept it off for a couple of years, and we are taking a dive into getting fit for the summer. And not just that, but just getting fit for the summer at 40, whether you're 30, 40, 50. We know that it looks a little different now than it used to. Spring break is around the corner for most of us. It is March, and that means some of you are kind of considering, ooh, wait, I need to get summer ready, right? Like
I know I am.
The short shorts are coming.
The bikini tops.
Do you have your bikini tops ready, Tyler?
Yeah, it's leopard print.
Awesome.
With fringe.
And matching hat, right? I mean.
Matching hat. Is that I feel like that is.
Matching hat with the leopard print bikini? That's the way to go.
Okay. No.
I actually have that.
I know.
I have that set.
Okay. No, it's an American flag.
Yours is an American flag?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to cover all of the probing questions that I get about getting fit and summer ready. I get questions about spot reduction, if you want to lose like the belly fat.
Can't do that.
I'm going to get, I get questions about getting the toned look, how to get started to achieve that summer look that you're going for.
Okay.
So first, let's address how our summers are wildly different now than they were in our 20s and maybe early 30s.
Yeah, we remember them now.
Right.
And they're not as fun as they used to be.
I mean, I don't know.
Although mine were never fun. I never did like spring break in Padre or anything like that. I always worked.
I'm sorry.
Well, someone's got to carry the boat. Someone's got to do the work.
I guess. So like in my 20s and 30s, my cooler was full of Miller Lite and cheap bottles of wine. And now my cooler is full of Uncrustables and cheese sticks and Capri Suns for the kids, sunscreen,
See, you had an opportunity there to say that they're for my husband or something, and you totally just walked over that and just...
I mean, you do eat the Uncrustables when I pack them.
They're delicious.
They are delicious. They are. They are not low calorie. It is not something I suggest. But
that's why we don't buy them on a regular basis, because
absolutely.
they're we have a problem with peanut butter. I would mainline it if I could.
Right.
Just put it right in my vein.
It's so good. I was barely wearing any sunscreen in my 20s. I really should have. My skin is wishing I would have at this point. But now I'm slathering sunscreen on myself and other little humans, tiny humans. In my 20s, summer and spring break was all about lounging in a lounge chair with your best friend, reading a trashy magazine. And now, I'm in the water. I'm out of the water. I'm in the water. Where are the kids going? Where are they at? There's one, there's two. I can't find, that's what's going on now.
Yeah. Why is this one screaming? I don't know.
Right. So summer and spring break might look a little different for you now than it did in your earlier years. And also getting fit for the summer looks a little different. So what does it mean to get fit at 40 for the summer? It's not about chasing unrealistic standards or trying to turn back the clock. It's about feeling strong and healthy and confident in your own skin and possibly your swimsuit. It's probably not about the itty bitty bikini anymore.
That's a shame. It is for me.
I'm sorry.
I'm not signing off on this.
It's about feeling confident. Like, I want to feel confident in my swimsuit. It's not about the tiny swimsuit that I see on, supermodel person on Instagram. It's about the black swimsuit that I bought off of Amazon. It's about putting that on and feeling confident in it. It's about feeling confident in the cute little cover up that I bought from Target. And that's what getting fit for the summer for me and most women in their 40s about. That we want to feel confident when we go have the fun times with our family. Mm-hmm. Whether that's getting in a swimsuit or just going on a vacation and wearing the shorts that you want to wear.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Shania Twain song.
Is it? Which one?
Man, I feel like a woman. Woo!
Yeah.
You go, girls.
And it's about embracing wisdom and experience that comes with age while you're prioritizing your well-being. And for some of you, you might think, okay, I'm going to be summer ready when, and then you fill in the blank. I'm going to be summer ready when I lose my belly fat. I'm going to be summer ready when my thighs shrink. So that leads us to that question that I get, can I spot reduce fat zones on my body? And this is an age-old question. Can we spot reduce? And yes, spoiler alert that Tyler gave you, you cannot spot reduce.
Not in any real meaningful way.
Correct. You know, how often do you hear somebody say, I want to, blast fat in a particular area of the body?
Well, can we also talk about how maybe ridiculous that even is as a thought?
Go ahead.
Like for me right now, if I was like, man, I really wish I just need to do like crunches so I can have abs. My body, I would look ridiculous because I'm not cut to not be cut over the rest of your body, but then be cut to have visible abs. That would be you'd look very strange.
I mean, probably just because you don't, that would look strange.
It would look very weird. Yeah. So it's not possible. You have to lose you're going to lose it obviously because everyone's fat is distributed differently. It's going to look different as you lose, however much. But yeah, you can't just pick a spot and go away.
Right.
Unless you go to a plastic surgeon. That's a whole other thing.
We all have our problem areas, and all of our problem areas are different, right? Because we're all genetically different. And we all have those areas on our body where we hold on to the most fat. And it's easy to see why people think that spot reduction is possible, because there's deceptive marketing campaigns telling you to get their Ab Blaster 4000 or the Butt Be Gone. I just made that one up. The products that these ads sell give you the idea that building muscle in a specific body area will target that fat that surrounds that area, but that's just not true. That's not science. That's not how your body works.
For stuff like abs, for abs like 100%. But I mean, for arms or legs, I guess if you grew your...
We're going to talk about that.
Okay, but say like it could change the appearance.
You can't target fat loss in any part of your body.
But if you grew your muscle, like if I...
We're going to talk about that.
Okay, all right, I'll stop.
So targeted fat loss is not achievable with exercise alone. In fact, targeted fat loss is also not achievable with just diet. Targeted fat loss is not a thing, period. Where your body decides to lose fat is based on your genetics. When you lose fat, you lose it from different parts of your body, and where you lose it comes down to genetics. I personally know that I am going to lose fat in my upper body much quicker than I will lose fat in my lower body. And that just happens to be how I am built genetically. Mm-hmm. And so it is dependent on that. And then you have to lose overall fat. A study was done in 2015. It was a randomized controlled study that followed 40 obese females. And the goal was for these females to lose belly fat. They took measurements both in waist and hip circumference. They took measurements with a skin fold method. And they separated the 40 women into two groups. One group participated in dietary intervention alone, and the other group participated in the same dietary intervention, but also did 12 weeks of ab training. So they were trying to lose belly fat and have, the targeted thing. They found that the group that participated in the 12 weeks of ab training exercises and had dietary intervention did not experience any greater belly fat reduction than the group that just focused on dietary changes alone. And really, all of them saw overall body fat reduction. It wasn't really ever targeted towards belly fat in the first place. It was where they tended to genetically lose fat in the first place. So the good news is you cannot target fat loss, but you can target muscle gain. So it is possible to target muscle definition by increasing resistance training in a specific body area. And that's what women refer to as toning. So we're going to get into that question next.
So when women ask about toning,
yes,
what are they referring to? Like on their arms or legs? Like, what does that mean?
So when women refer to toning, it refers to typically, women tell me, I want to have toned arms, or I want to have toned legs, or again, they're targeting a specific part of their body. And it's kind of a sculpted look. They're going for something that looks a little more sculpted. Mm-hmm. The truth is so many fitness professionals on social media or elsewhere are going to tell you they hate the word toned. It is not a thing. It does not exist. And I get it. Like, they are right in the idea that you cannot make a muscle firmer or softer. That is not going to happen. You can make a muscle grow or shrink, but you're not going to make it firmer or softer. So what women are calling toned is really just the idea of muscle growth and fat loss. So I don't really care what you call it. If you want to call it toned, great, call it toned. But I'm going to call it muscle growth and fat loss, because that is really ultimately what you're going for. Mm-hmm. The term toned became popular when trainers were trying to market their programs to females, because females have historically had a fear of strength training and getting bulky. So they didn't want to. So
it's a marketing ploy. Yeah. They just changed. They took something and they put a different name on it.
Yeah, they just put a word toned to it, and it's a lot easier to say let's get toned than let's build muscle, because women are afraid
of getting bulky. Which I know we've screamed about this from the hilltops.
Right.
A woman's lack of testosterone is going to keep them from getting bulky.
I mean,
for the vast majority.
Yes.
Because if it was just lifting weights made you bulky, I would look like a different person. and I'm a healthy 40-year-old dude who lifts weights and runs, and I've got normal testosterone where they would not, for insurance, give me a supplement. Because I went and had it checked, and they were like, insurance is not going to cover this because you're in normal range. If I could just lift and be bulky, I'd be so happy. So
sorry that you're not bulky.
Well,
I love how you look.
Well, I appreciate that. So I'm just saying that because a woman does not have the body chemistry that a dude does. If she does the same thing, she's not going to get the same result. Now, she can still grow her muscle.
Yeah.
She can still make definite change. But the whole notion of getting bulky, it is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
To get bulky.
It all really comes down to how we want to look for summer. We all want to look leaner. We want to grow our muscles. We want to lose fat. So really, it's all about body composition change. More muscle, less fat. So now I'm going to break down the key components to doing exactly that, building muscle and losing fat. If you have listened to our previous podcast or have not, we talked about the idea that you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat and a calorie surplus to gain muscle, and that you can't do both at the same time. We've also referred to these as like cutting phase or bulking phase. However, having said that, most of my clients, my audience, the people who are listening to this podcast, most of you, because I've been doing this long enough to know, your main goal is fat loss. So that's where I'm going to start with fat loss. So let's go back to the calorie deficit, because you have to be in a calorie deficit to have fat loss, period. And meanwhile, we're going to talk about strength training 3 to 4 times a week with progressive load to keep your metabolism boosted. It is March. So if you put systems in place now, you can make body composition change in a 3-month period of time. You're not going to completely become a different person and look like your Instagram inspiration, but you can make noticeable change that can help boost your own confidence for the summer.
Okay, I think you should. I know you have a million times. Explain progressive load because someone listening might not know what that term is.
Doing it. It's on my on my list.
All right, sorry.
Nope, you're good. So overall, if I had a client come to me in March and say, I really want to get summer ready. I'm going on a vacation to Rome. I'm going on a vacation to Cancun, the Bahamas, fill in the blank. I would ask them 4 questions. And these are the 4 questions I would ask them. Question number 1, are you being consistent? And what do I mean by being consistent? Are you consistently in a calorie deficit? And how are you going to commit to being consistently in a calorie deficit? And let me break this down into numbers. When I say you need to be consistently in a calorie deficit, that means 85 to 90% of your month, yes, needs to be calorie deficit. And if you do the math on that, that means out of a 30-day month, you would be eating in a calorie deficit 26 or 27 days. That doesn't leave a lot of leeway. If you are in a calorie deficit Monday through Thursday, but not Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, guess what?
Not going to work.
Not working for you. Not shocked, not surprised.
And that's probably really frustrating for people because they're going to fall. Because I'm just as guilty. I'm just as guilty of this. You fall off the wagon on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, and then you do that for a couple of weeks where you do 5 days really good or 4 days really good, and then a month goes by and you're like, I'm at the same place.
Right.
So you're just literally going to spin your wheels.
Yes.
So I know people don't like to hear this, but yeah, you have to be consistent the vast majority of the time. Now,
it doesn't mean perfect.
Yeah,
you don't have to be perfect, but you have to be consistent. And I consider 85% of the time consistent. That gives you a leeway of about 4 days. And I am not saying that those 4 days are what I call cheat days. I am not a proponent of that. I am not saying you are binging on those 4 days. I am just saying
it's if you have a couple of dates with your significant other,
right,
and you go to a restaurant and you have a whatever, and you kind of go overboard for a meal, that's totally fine.
Yes.
It's not it's not like The Rock on Instagram where have you seen his epic cheat days?
I have not.
Okay. If you're listening, do not walk to Instagram. And go find, he does these.
You're talking about
days.
Dwayne Wayne Johnson, The Rock.
Dwayne Wayne.
Isn't that his name?
Dwayne. Oh my God. I can't believe
Am I wrong? Uh-oh.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh.
Dwayne Wayne Johnson.
Oh.
He didn't get beat up in class. He beat up people in class.
Okay.
All right. So let's just watch it. So anyway, he calls them like epic cheat days. Obviously, he's in an athletic class that sub 0.5% of human beings are in. He's tall, whatever. He has when he does a cheat day, it is like starts in the morning and it is like stacks of pancakes and he has like 3 pizza. It's obnoxious. Obviously it's also a little bit curated for Instagram and for the internet.
Yes.
To make people go, ooh, look how much he can eat and whatever. But you can't do that.
Right.
I doubt he really does that.
Don't do what he did then.
He can, yes, he can get away with.
He's allowed to do that though.
He can get away with more because he is huge. He puts out a ton of work,
right,
in the gym. And I'm pretty sure he's juicing, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that. But I really even doubt that those cheat days are quite as epic as I'm sure he eats some of it.
Right.
But I doubt he eats a tray of chocolate chip cookies like he tries to portray.
Right. We're just saying be consistent most of the days and put a system in place in order to know that you're being consistent. Don't just guess if you're being consistent. Again, I have a habit tracker at thecaloriedeficitqueen.com that you can use. You can use go Google habit tracker or do one on your phone that's digital. It does not matter.
You could literally draw a grid of 31 days, however many days in a month.
Create yourself a sticker chart.
And
do what you need to. Yeah, do what you need.
You don't have to spend any money on it.
And if you're not prioritizing protein, you should also do that. But you can go take a listen to our protein power episode where we talk everything protein. Okay, second question I would ask you if you're trying to get fit for summer is, are you being accurate? Okay, you say you're in a calorie deficit, but how do you know? How do you know you're in a calorie deficit? Are you being accurate? Are you tracking? Are you measuring food with a food scale? Do you have untracked bites, licks, and tastes of food? Somebody asked me recently if they should track their fruits and vegetables that they eat all day. They, we're tracking everything but the fruits and vegetables. Yes, fruits and vegetables have calories. So if you are trying to be accurate, then count the fruits and vegetables. I get that Weight Watchers kind of taught people that fruits and vegetables are free foods. They're not. I mean, you can't just eat 3 bananas, an apple, and not count it as calories. It'll be really tough to stay in a calorie deficit if you're doing that. And I'm not saying everybody's doing that, but
yeah, fruit, as much as we love fruit, it's not a free pass.
I mean, same thing with vegetables. I mean,
to a lesser extent, yeah, absolutely.
Right. And I don't want to demonize fruits and vegetables by any means.
It's not. I don't think it's demonizing. I think it's the opposite. We're preaching the truth, and those charlatans, Oprah, over at Weight Watchers, trying to pretend like fruits and vegetables don't have any calories. But if you eat a Honeycrisp apple every day, and you're just like, la-da-da.
And those things are huge.
They're huge.
They're delicious.
They weigh like 1.5 pounds. I love Honeycrisp. It is the best apple.
No, Fuji. I'll fight you on that. Fuji is the best apple, but we'll fight later.
If anyone has a good divorce lawyer, please let me know, because this is a very serious issue. But okay, but for real, if you eat a Honeycrisp apple or a banana, it's at least 100 calories. I would be willing to bet a full-size Honeycrisp is probably like 150 or 200.
Yeah, probably somewhere between 150 and 200 calories. Yes.
That's sizable.
It is. It can make or break a calorie deficit.
For sure.
Like, it really can.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in your calorie deficit.
But if you're eating like really close to your maintenance or already, and then you're just like, well, it's an apple. I'm not going to record an apple because it's fruit. That's not going to work for you.
Right. By the way, those people, the clients that I have that pre-track their food instead of post-track their food are always more successful. I can even tell you from my own personal self, if I am to get into a calorie tracking app, whether it's MyFitnessPal, Lose It, whatever, and I pre-track my lunch before I even make it, I'm going to stick to what I tracked. If I pre-track my entire day, I am going to stick to the plan that I created for myself. It is a fantastic way to make sure that you are on track, being consistent, and staying accurate.
Can you, I think that's a great idea, especially if you're doing meal prep stuff.
Right.
Can you preload in, like in MyFitnessPal or whatever you use, can you go forward like every single day and put in your lunch? And
I don't know that you can go forward a day. Okay. I don't know. I literally have no idea.
Because that would be a really easy feature. And like while you're doing your lunch prep on Sunday,
pre-track it for the week.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to have to go look. All right. That'll be your homework. You do that.
I don't use MyFitnessPal.
Oh, well, whatever. Lose it and try it. Question number 3 would be, are you strength training 3 to 4 times a week, and are you using progressive load? So first of all, we need to be strength training 3 to 4 times a week. When you strength train, you should be using progressive load. So this is where I'll talk about that. If you are lifting the same size dumbbell today that you were lifting 6 months ago and you have no more reps, you are not using progressive load. In order to do that,
you're doing aerobics essentially.
I mean, yes, you need to increase either the weight size or the reps or time under tension, because your intensity needs to increase. And if you increase your intensity with any of those 3 things, you are using progressive load and you are building muscle. And again, protein, I'm going to bring that up one more time. It is so important to maintain a high amount of protein in your diet, because it will help you maintain the muscle you have and support new muscle growth, especially if your goal is fat loss.
Good. Yeah. So, hey, Kacy, let's do a little role play. Hey, CDQ.
Yes.
I only have XYZ weights, And I'm not buying, can't buy it, whatever.
So you only have 5s and 10s?
Yeah. So what do I do?
Go get in your car, go to the store and buy heavier weights. I'm just kidding. No,
okay.
You don't have to do that.
That is an option.
I know. It is an option. Or get some off Amazon. Okay. So what do? You do more sets, or you do more reps with the weights that you have.
Do them slower.
Or do them, yes, do them slower. Concentric,
focus on
eccentric.
the negative.
Yes. So make sure your shortening and lengthening of the muscle is at a much slower pace. And if you do this at a slower pace with more reps, you will then increase intensity, therefore increasing muscle size.
And, we've got some home gym stuff that I use. I don't have like a ton of stuff. You don't need a lot.
It's true. You really don't.
Having a gym, having all that stuff is great. It makes it easier, gives you lots of options. I personally like having my limited options. Go in there, do it intense, and then be done with it. So whether that's dumbbells, elastic bands, those are cheap.
Yeah, those are great.
And you can
get a whole set easily off Amazon
for not that much. And you can destroy yourself using that stuff. You can absolutely wreck your muscles.
Yeah. All right. So final question I would ask, the fourth question is, are you getting in low intensity, steady state exercise, such as walking? In other words, are you getting in enough movement, daily steps every day? The daily steps part is so important because this is part of your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And this accounts for 15% of your total daily energy expenditure. In other words, calories out. That's a big deal, 15%. Notice I didn't say anywhere in my 4 questions, are you doing cardio? Are you doing an hour of cardio? No, that was not part of my 4 questions. For as far as training goes, focus on strength training and focus on getting in low intensity, steady state exercise. This is going to burn fat. And when we keep our heart rate
in the blue
low,
zone.
Correct, then we are going to burn fat. And that is the goal. Because if you want the sculpted summer look that that might be your goal, then you're going to want an overall fat loss. So,
do you know that there have been studies done about stay-at-home wives and moms?
Okay.
That they tend to have lower. One of the reasons, on top of a billion other factors, is the fact that they tend to do more household chores. And if you think about vacuuming or doing all that kind of stuff, and obviously I know I'm getting into like, maybe some people think it's controversial. I'm not advocating that.
Are you being misogynistic?
Yeah, every woman needs to be like Donna Reed. We need to go back to the 1950s.
Do you want me to put my pearls on and vacuum?
Yeah, I want you to do chores in a dress and an apron with full makeup. No, but they found that they tended to have better cardiovascular health, lower incidence of heart disease, because doing that low intensity work all day,
right,
tended to keep them in like that low kind of activities of a blue zone, and that was sufficient.
It probably lowered their body fat, their visceral body fat, which accounts for a better cardiovascular health.
And obviously, like people in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, we ate very, very differently and wasn't as processed. So like I understand there's a lot of other factors. But
interesting.
If you don't have to run, if you don't like to run, don't run.
Right.
Just go walk.
Exactly. And
wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm a runner. The amount of calories that you burn for running 30 minutes or walking 30 minutes is not that much different.
Right. And it's going to be easier on your joints.
It's going to be easier on everything. I like it for other reasons. But if you're doing it just for like cardiovascular health or just to burn calories, just walk. You don't need to run.
And if your goal is to get fit for summer, don't give up when the scale does not match your efforts. You have to know the difference between weight gain and loss versus fat gain and loss. Weight loss is not the same as fat loss. Weight loss refers to loss of muscle, fat, and water, and fat loss refers to exactly that, loss of fat. Most scales at home do not differentiate between the two, and That's why sometimes we see the scale fluctuate by 3 pounds in a single day. And if that happens to you, you have to remind yourself that a single pound of fat is equitable to 3,500 calories. So unless you ate an excess of 3,500 calories on top of your maintenance calories, you did not gain a pound of fat or 3 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
It is likely water weight, and that's caused by various factors like salt intake, hormone fluctuations, resistance training. I could keep going. You need to look at your overall weight trend and averages to determine if you are indeed losing fat. So look at your average over time. Don't look at it on a day-to-day basis. You have to play the long game here. I'm not telling anybody that you're going to lose 40 pounds by June if you start today. That's not what I'm saying. It might take you 3 months just to lose 10 pounds. And that is totally normal and reasonable.
And healthier.
And healthy. And you'll be able to see a visual 10 pounds, you'll be able to see a visual change. Science-based evidence shows that people who lose fat a slow and steady pace rather than that quick yo-yo dieting type thing, they are more likely to keep it off. And isn't that the entire goal? No one listening is thinking, oh, I can't wait to lose 10 pounds for the summer. And then as soon as August hits, whammo, I can't wait to gain that weight back. Nobody wants to gain the weight back. It is March. It is a great time to get started, to get fit for summer. You have, between here and June, you have 3 months, and you can make a noticeable change in your look and in your body. You have to set up systems in place. Give a listen to our Habits That Stick episode if you need help with that. Know that you still can get fit, even if you're 40 or 50 or older. Take these insights, apply them with dedication, and watch your own transformation unfold. Until next time, keep loving yourself, stay committed to your journey, and keep transforming yourself.
Adios.